Yeah, what made you decide to volunteer?
So I was in the Marine Corps, and I growing up in the country, we have certain values. Um, I grew up on a farm, and um, American values are all about freedom and fighting off the bully. So it was kind of a no-brainer. I've been asked this question a lot. I don't know how to answer it. It's just felt like the right thing to do, and originally it was going to be for 6 months, but 4 years in now. So,
So when did you officially join? How long after I guess obviously Crimea was invaded 2014, but I should say this second invasion. How long after?
so I got here at the end of March, and I seen combat for the first time in the beginning of April. So,
What has been the biggest difference between combat in Ukraine versus being in the Marine Corps? Just out of curiosity.
well, the war has changed so much from, I was in 2007 is when I joined the Marine Corps. Tactics have changed. The war itself has changed. Obviously, we've never seen a war like this before. So, you really can't prepare for this kind of war. You kind of have to just learn as you go. It's very hard to compare anything that I took from the Marine Corps and to bring it here. But the mindset, the discipline, all that stuff sticks with you.
So just tell me a little bit about the last 6 months. Where have things been? Where are you right now? And what have been your goals within your unit within this past 6 months? And what have you been seeing as well, I should say, recently?
Yeah. So I've spent actually most of my 4 years here in the Donetsk region, Donbass area. Aside from taking part in the Kharkiv offensive years ago, but most of my time's been in the Donbass, and that's where I'm at now. Um, Specifically in near the Kramatorsk, Konstantinivka region, Dobropilia. The last 6 months has been pretty rough. I mean, you know, we was kind of down, and then we've been able to kind of shift the momentum a little bit on the battlefield. We're taking in a lot of new guys here, so we're having to kind of break them of the NATO mindset and bring them into what this war is. And it's a constant battle, just trying to stay ready, and everything changes every day. We're doing pretty good here. Specifically in Azov, we're doing very well.
So what does day to day rough, I mean, obviously every day is different, but what does it look like? Like what have you been doing the past week, I should say, when you wake up in the morning?
Well, the past week, I actually have three teams on the ground right now, so it's pretty much 24/7, collecting information, getting it to the guys on the ground. Logistics is an absolute nightmare, so trying to get the guys the supplies they need on the ground to continue operations and just coordinating movement overall. It's kind of a 24-hour job because uh, even at nighttime, for instance, thermal drones are working constantly. The battle doesn't stop, and it's very difficult to move at night. So just trying to keep my guys safe and supplied with what they need.
How many guys are you looking over right now in charge of?
Right now, 40 guys.
And I heard you just talking about drones. I mean, we've been seeing how drones have changed the warscape. I've never seen anything like this. I don't think anyone has. How can you describe how drones and this modern technology have just really reshaped what the battlefield looks like today?
It's quite difficult. In 22, 23, the infills could be, well, we could be dropped off very close to our position. Only have to walk, a kilometer, or, well, I'll try to say it in English terms or American terms, a couple miles to get there. But now we're looking at 5, 6, 7 mile infills. And even before that, drones can reach 20, 30 miles behind the front line, so just even getting to the position where you can be dropped off, it's very difficult. And again, like I said, drones are working 24/7, and it's not just small drones, but they have large attack drones. Even these Iranian drones. There's a ton of threats in the air.
You've
Um,
seen them use Iranian drones. You've seen Russians using Iranian drones.
well, I didn't really ask them if that was an Iranian drone that they were flying, but it's very clearly that they're sending Shaheeds that our way. Even recently, we've had Shaheeds hitting our frontline positions. Pretty crazy when you think about it. Using a Shaheed on a frontline position with 3 or 4 guys inside, it's quite wild.
So, how far are you from the front lines as well right now? I know you're pretty close in the Donbass region.
Right this minute, about 20 kilometers, I would say, is probably to the front line, but it's a relatively safe environment if you understand how to move and where to place yourself.
So, obviously, things are a little polarized in America right now, for lack of better words. So we're airing this report at 5 p.m. At 6 p.m. tonight is when President Trump is giving his State of the Union address. He is um, presumed to be speaking about the war. It's obviously a very polarizing topic. So what do you want our viewers to know before the president speaks about what you are seeing? Do you agree with some of what's been said on, either side of the political aisle? Where do you stand? I know obviously, as you and many people have been saying, it's not really politics, it's about freedom. So what would you want people to know before the president speaks tonight?
Well, I've never really been into politics so much, but I do want the American people to know that the Ukrainian people are incredible people. They do not deserve this to be happening, and it's very hard to put into words until you come and see it. I know it's easy to sit in America and say, stop giving them money, stop giving them weapons, but we're just trying to keep our borders here. And I think American people should also understand that there's a lot of Americans losing their lives over here. I've lost so many friends on the battlefield, good Americans, prior soldiers. And the reason they're here is the same reason I'm here. We have American values, and we don't believe in this dictatorship and this aggressive communism. It's very sad to see when people's losing their homes and their lives and their children. I just want people to stand with us and to continue supporting us here. Politics aside, it's just the human thing to do.
And from your perspective, just being on the battlefield, what do you need? What does this, if America continues to give more funding, what in your opinion, versus what all the politicians say we need, stuff like that, what do you see that we need most in Ukraine?
Ukrainians are amazing fighters. I know people have this idea that their military is a little behind, but it's not. It's a phenomenal military. They're holding off, Russians, which is the second largest military in the world. What we need is more pressure on Russia, and that's obviously from the political side. We can't be friends with Putin. We cannot be friends with, the Russian government or Belarus or any of his supporting countries. We have to have maximum support for what we're doing here. That can come in the form of weapons. That can come in the form of just more sanctions, or just pulling the rug out from underneath Putin a little bit would be great.
Do you think that we're still kind of seeing that fallout from that, for lack of better words, catastrophic meeting between Zelensky and President Trump and the rest of several media outlets in the Oval Office a few months ago? Do you think that we're still kind of seeing the fallout from that, or do you think that things have progressed and moved on for the better?
I think it might have hurt the relationship a little bit. I really don't know. Again, I don't follow the politics so much. Um, but I do know that something happened with that relationship to where the support felt like it kind of slowed down, or it kind of felt like we lost American support in general. But again, politics really isn't my thing. I just really wish people would understand what the Ukrainian people are going through over here. This is not a joke. It's not a game. People are dying large amounts. It's winter right now, and people are going without electricity, without heat. Um, it's it's actually it's a huge it's an emergency. We need this help. We need this assistance. We need the support for Russia to stop. Um, by no means does it feel like we're losing this war at all, but we are kind of going the wrong direction. You see the gains on the battlefield. We are making some gains in places, but slowly Russia's creeping forward, and their drones are striking deeper. and the infrastructure is starting to hurt quite a bit. You see the electricity is not working for days and days and days at a time. Um, so it feels like we're taking steps backward just a little bit. But the will of the Ukrainian people and the fight is still in them. And obviously, we here in Azov, we're obviously taking the fight to them as hard as possible. And we're quite successful in our area, but it's a very big front line, so we can't really control what happens everywhere.
What has this anniversary been like for you today? What have some of the conversations been like? Has it been difficult? I know sometimes, just speaking generally about loss, I know when someone loses someone, getting closer to that anniversary can be especially difficult. Was there like a similar feeling with this anniversary of just the loss that this has brought to the country and all of the repercussions we're seeing now? What has it been like today?
It's not such a sad day here in Ukraine because actually it's a day that we can kind of celebrate. We've managed to hold out for a long time and inflict huge losses on the Russians, and I think we should more or less celebrate this day because Ukraine still stands. They still have their independence. They still have their borders, be it they may be a little bit smaller. Um, but yeah, I think it's more, people want to continue to resist. It's there's no there's no sad feelings going around. People aren't feeling sorry for themselves. We just keep on keeping on. Hopefully, it doesn't go to five, but if Putin wants to continue, if the Russians want to continue, then we will be here at five.
How would you describe the Ukrainian military spirit right now?
Uh, it's never faltered. It's 100% go all the time. These are the best soldiers on the planet, in my opinion. Right now, this is the best military in the world. Um, Obviously, the United States military is extremely powerful, and nobody can say anything about the American military and how great it is. But for what Ukraine is doing, it's quite amazing, and the Ukrainians are not slowing down. It's constant 24/7 work to keep going and to get better and to find new ways to improve and new tactics to use on the battlefield. It's quite amazing to be a part of this, actually. That's why I told you, originally I had 6 months in mind. I've lost a lot of friends. I've been wounded. I felt like, there was absolutely no way I could go on another mission, but you find that inside of you when you get around the Ukrainians to want to continue fighting. And, I'm still going on combat missions to this day.
Where were
And
you wounded?
I was wounded in Novosibirsk, in the Luhansk Oblast, and that was in 2023. Um, but I had time to reflect on if I wanted to continue and talk to my family, and um, nothing ever told me really to leave. Um, Still here.
Is there anything else that you think you really want people to know before the end of the day on this anniversary?
I just really hope that people don't forget about what's happening here. It's very easy to forget about it. It's very easy to put it on the back burner. But Ukrainians are amazing people, and it's hard for people to understand that because they get mixed in with just this country that's corrupt or always at war or something like this. But uh, corruption may be there. I don't know. I don't see it. It's that's way above my head, way above my payroll, and I don't pay attention to that type of stuff. But these are great people. These are amazing people, and we have to support them. We have to continue to support it. We cannot let Putin win. We cannot let him take any more ground, any more countries. This is what they do. They continue to fight people. They continue to take people's land, take people's lives, and it's just not right morally, no matter how you look at it.